Hi, this is Marco, and today I will talk about why trying harder is not the solution, but the shift in perspective can be much more effective. Now, awareness is really the key to look into today, and it is really interesting if we think about it. People often want to do more, they want to improve whatever they do for different reasons. It really doesn't matter. But oftentimes, they are not aware of what can change or shift that would help them to improve their results, that would help them to raise their effectiveness. It's like the fly story. It reminded me about the fly story that I was reading some while ago, and I will try to paraphrase that story. And it goes something like that. The fly is trying to crack through the window. There is a window, and the fly is trying to break through it and fly into freedom. But it's really a desperate battle because the fly is trying harder and harder and is investing more and more time and energy and effort. But we all know that it will not have any effect, and eventually the battle will come to an end. If only the fly would see a different perspective about its situation, become aware of a different approach, that just a couple of meters, a couple of feet away, the door is wide open, and with just a couple of flying seconds, a couple of seconds of flying time, the fly would be free. The fly would use with little effort, with a totally different approach, it would fly into freedom, and it would stop the desperate battle instantaneously instead of losing it. Now, this story is really something special because it made me realize that oftentimes we are hooked up into situations that we try harder instead of taking a different approach, seeing it from a different angle or perspective. Now, a quote by Albert Einstein explains this very accurately. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Now, and yet, this is what many people do, and even I'm guilty of that, right? So, it's how we always have done it. This is kind of the thinking, how we have always approached it. And this is pretty much a mental conditioning, a mental habit, and it can be very limiting and also destructive at times. Because if we want to free ourselves from limiting or limited thinking, we have to change our own focus. We have to change our perspective, how we look at things, how we see things and situations, and even other people. Now, a little bit of a different aspect. Have you ever asked your friends or family, somebody that is really close to you and that you can really ask something that they would give you a honest and very open answer? Somebody who you truly and fully trust. For example, have you tried asking somebody like this what kind of opinion they have about you? And of course, you ask very specific people, not just anyone, but people you truly trust, and you know they are going to give you a open and honest answer. And besides that, you have to make sure to not get mad if you get an answer that is not what you expected. But that's not the idea here. What I want to point out here is if you've asked somebody what their opinion is about you, and you get an answer, oftentimes you will see a huge difference between what you think of yourself and how they see you, or what they think about you. Because every person has its own opinion and every person has its own perspective, and so do you. And because we are all working from our own perspective, we are often locked in to the same processes. And I'm talking about the mental processes, how we think, how we approach challenges, problems, how we solve issues, how we look for solutions. The process is always the same if we are aware of it or not. And right here, I want to tell you, this is something where we have to work on becoming aware of, that we can shift our perception, our point of view, because this is truly something that sets us free. And when we deliberately look to shift our perspective, look for things and situation from a different angle, look at things and situation from a different angle, perhaps from an angle that is outside of our comfort zone or totally foreign to us. In challenging situation, I'm often using this question, like I'm trying to remind myself to repeatedly do that and ask this following question. What's good in it? That's the question. What is good in this situation? Now, I try to focus on what is good in it, and I try to find something good, regardless of what the situation is. And I'm looking just for one thing. It always works. However, it's not always easy. When my father passed away, I was asking myself this question a long time and very often. You can imagine it was a hard time, but I kept on asking myself because I knew when I found one thing that was good for him to pass away, I would be happy. Not only for him, but for myself, and it would be easier for me to let go. So this question can really help in any kind of situation, because we can let go of the attachment we have, and we focus ourselves onto something positive, on something good, because we are looking for the good. And it is so powerful. Regardless of the situation you might face, this question can truly support this shift of awareness. And also, if you are not used to that, that's even a bigger reason to try it out, because we are so locked in the ways how we operate that we have to have some tricks to pull ourselves out of that limiting way of approaching things. And this question can definitely do that. So try it, because it's really powerful. And the next time you feel frustrated, depressed, drained, energetically drained, or stressed out because of whatever, just ask yourself, what's good in it? And find one thing, just one thing, that's enough, and see what happens. Find one thing that is good in this exact situation, and you will see that you will be in a totally different space and see that situation from a totally different perspective. Enjoy the process. This is Marco. Thank you for watching and liking.